Tate Publishing Enterprises, along with Tate Out Loud Audiobooks, presents Adventures from the Farm, written by Cathy Streul and narrated by Shauna Wyndham. It was the first day of school at the farm. Chitter, chatter, oinks, moos, and tweets were all heard as the teacher, Miss Susie Q. Goose, came into the classroom at the big barn school. There was Porker T., the small pink pig, Mary Moo, the brown calf, the chicken twins, Penny and Peggy, and at last there was Timmy Turtle, who is new to the farm. "Settle down, young ones. It's time to begin class," said Miss Susie Q. Goose. "Gather up your mats and sit over here. It is time to introduce ourselves." The little pink pig was the first to jump up. "My name is Porker T. Pig." He was short and pudgy, with a curly tail and floppy ears. Porker T. also wore glasses, since he had trouble seeing very far. "I like to eat a lot of corn," he oinked. "And rolling around in the mud is the most exciting thing to do. It is wet and squishy." The brown calf was the next to speak. "Mary Moo is my name." Mary Moo was the tallest in the class, and she felt out of place as she looked around at the others. "I like to walk the fields and chew on green grass and yellow stalks all day. There is a lot to see and hear as I move around the farm, but my favorite is the sweet yellow straw to munch, munch, munch on." The chick twins were the next to speak. "Penny and Peggy," they chirped. They had a habit of finishing each other's sentences. "We like to peck the ground all around the farm," Penny said. Peggy chirped. "Worms are our favorite." "We are twins," said Penny. "That means that we are just alike." Everyone agreed that it was hard to tell them apart. "That is why we wear different colored ribbons," said Penny. "Green for Penny and orange for me." Timmy Turtle was still sitting, and his cheeks were turning red as the others stared at him, waiting to hear what he had to say. "My name is Timmy Turtle," he stuttered. "I can pull my head, arms, and legs into my shell." As he did, his shell fell to the floor with a loud thump. The farm kids began to laugh, along with Miss Susie Q. Goose. Timmy Turtle poked his head out a little, then a little more. Pretty soon, his head, arms, and legs, even his tail, were completely out again. Timmy smiled. "I move rather slowly, but I am curious about new things, and I like to lie in the sun and read." "This is great, class," said Miss Susie Q. Goose. "We are about to begin our first adventure together. Young ones, listen close. There is one rule. You must stay close together." Each little farm animal eagerly agreed. "Good, then off we go." In a line behind Miss Susie Q. Goose, they all left the big barn school. They went across the barnyard and under the fence, except Mary Moo, who went over and down a path that led to a river. Porker T. slowed down and walked next to Timmy Turtle. They were both a little scared because they had never been away from the barnyard before. Mary Moo, Penny, and Peggy were all chatting excitedly because they had been to the river before with their families. Miss Susie Q. Goose noticed the change, so she started singing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go to learn some more. 5, 6, 7, 8. What will we see? I cannot wait. 9, 10. Let's sing it again." Before they knew it, they were all singing along, and no one remembered to be scared anymore. They continued singing as they started through the meadow. Mary Moo could not believe there was such a place with no fences and wildflowers blooming everywhere. She was so amazed that she started running and dancing. Miss Susie Q. Goose, Porker T. Pig, and Timmy Turtle were laughing so hard at the sight of Mary Moo dancing that they lost sight of Penny and Peggy in the tall meadows. All of a sudden, Miss Susie Q. Goose realized that the Chick twins were missing. "Quiet!" she yelled. Timmy Turtle got scared and popped into his shell. Porker T. Pig lost his footing and fell onto his rump. "Penny and Peggy, where are you?" Everyone was silent. They heard a faint cheep cheep from the twins, but no one could see them. Porker T. suggested they split up and look for them. "No," cried Miss Susie Q. Goose. "We must stay together. Let's form a line and hold on to each other's tails. Then we can stretch out to find the chicks without losing each other." They did as they were told and moved along slowly, with Miss Susie Q. Goose leading the group and Mary Moo at the end, since she was tall enough to see everyone. After several minutes searching through the tall grass, Miss Susie Q. Goose yelled, "We found them!" They all laid down, and the Chick twins climbed up along the line to settle on Mary Moo's back. As they were coming to the edge of the meadow, they saw the tall trees of the forest. "Look at all the beautiful trees," called Porker T. Pig. "I never believed that trees could be so tall and straight." He danced and sang, "Trees, trees, beautiful trees." Everyone laughed. Peggy Chick laughed so hard that she almost fell off of Mary Moo's back. The laughing, singing, and dancing was slowly coming to a stop when Miss Susie Q. Goose said, "Just past the forest is a river where we will have our lunch. As we walk through the forest, I want you young ones to tell me what you see." Timmy Turtle was the first to speak. "I see a colorful bird." "What color is it?" "Red. I think it's a cardinal." "Correct." Timmy Turtle smiled with pleasure. That was all it took for the rest of the group to start talking. Miss Susie Q. Goose laughed. "Not all at once, young ones, one at a time." "I see different colored leaves," yelled Penny Chick. "Some are orange like Peggy's ribbon, and others are yellow." "Very nice, Penny." Peggy Chick was the next to chime in. "I see green grass growing between the trees." "Excellent, Peggy." "Blue sky," mooed Mary Moo. Everyone looked up. "Yes, Mary Moo, a very blue sky. And how about you, Porker T? What do you see?" "I see little purple flowers growing. Can you smell them?" "Yes," called Miss Susie Q. Goose. "I can. And here's the river. Let's sit along its banks and have our lunch." All the little farm animals ate their lunch by the quiet little river. They laughed and danced and sang all kinds of songs. All of a sudden, Miss Susie Q. Goose heard a strange giggling coming from the riverbank. "Who is there?" she cried as she peered over the edge. "Just us," called Porker T. Pig. Miss Susie Q. Goose started laughing as she watched Porker T. and Timmy Turtle swim and splash each other. Before they knew it, everyone was in the river splashing and laughing at the sight of each other wet. Timmy Turtle swam on his back. Mary Moo was so tall she jumped around in the water. Penny and Peggy floated just like ducks, and Miss Susie Q. Goose paddled with her feet, enjoying the sight. "All right, young ones," she called. "It is time to head back." As they walked through the woods on the way back into the big barn school, Miss Susie Q. Goose began to sing. As we walk through the woods, what do we see? A red bird singing to me, called Timmy Turtle. Orange and yellow leaves waving to me, sang Penny. Green grass dancing with me, chirped Peggy. Blue sky smiling at me, mooed Mary Moo. Purple flowers smelling nice for me, squealed Porker T. They sang all through the woods. At the edge of the meadow, the Chick twins climbed up on Mary Moo's back to make sure they did not get lost again. With excitement, they all ran along the path. Timmy Turtle was slow and could not keep up, so Porker T gave him a ride all the way back. As the new group of friends went back into the classroom, Miss Susie Q. Goose asked, "Young ones, what have you learned today?" Timmy Turtle spoke first. "We learned to count to 10. "We learned teamwork to help a friend or two," said Mary Moo. "Very good," said Miss Susie Q. Goose. "Anything else?" "Colors," cheeped the twins at the same time, and everyone laughed. Porker T. Pig laughed so hard that he rolled all the way over, then said, "We learned to share and take turns so that everyone has fun." "Exactly," said Miss Susie Q. Goose. "You have all learned something important today, and exciting new adventures wait for another day." Each of the little farm animals couldn't wait to get home to tell their families of their adventures from the farm. The end. You have been listening to Adventures from the Farm by Cathy Streul and narrated by Shauna Wyndham. Copyright 2010. All rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any way by any means electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise without the prior permission of the author, except as provided by USA copyright law. This has been a Tate Publishing Enterprises Tate Out Loud Audiobooks presentation. For more information, visit tatepublishing.com.